Hi class. Okay, I'm going to let you know a couple of things about if you're seeing some weirdness with your grade. Here's what happens. The grade book, I will get to the grade book, every other week. I'll go through it and try to catch up. But what will happen if you have not done an assignment, it won't count for you or against you. It'll be what they call a null score. So if you missed one of the activities or something for which there are points assigned, and maybe you've missed 2 or 3 of them, well, those all would not count against you. You'd only get the average of the scores you have until I go back through and I tell the machine, hey, every time they haven't turned something in and the due date is passed, it becomes a 0. So what will happen is you'll notice, hey, my grade's going down for obvious reasons. That we all know how to do math. So the good news is, as I've said before, I want you guys to succeed. It's important to me that if you say, oh, I didn't do such and such a, so I'm now behind. Well, let's talk about grades just for a minute, because I don't want anyone to be surprised in a couple of weeks when this thing wraps up, okay? Okay, so now we're looking at my gradebook setup. This won't look like yours, but this is it. You'll notice that there's a category called questionnaires and surveys, 15% of your score. All you got to do is go through and take the survey or take the questionnaire, and I've gone through just recently these, and I've added zeros to where people haven't done them. Now, if you're freaked out, say, hey, Qualic, this is not cool, I didn't know that I had to do these. Well, first of all, it says in the gradebook 15%. That's what you're looking at right here. But I just want you to succeed. A lot of your courses, as you go through Blue Ridge, for those of you who are new here, or for people who are even taking this as a high school student, a lot of your courses, if you miss a due date, this is all she wrote. So it's really important that you're aware of that. Now, I know we have a lot of traditional students. We have a lot of non-traditional students who have aged out of sort of the standard college range, the 18 to 22, right? But we also have some young individuals, high school students, who may not be familiar with this. Real fast, if you're a high school student, you're used to being reminded and poked all the time to do your work, and then when you don't turn it in, you get sort of grief on it. But that's not really how college works. For my class it is. I'm just going to try to be as gentle as I can as you guys get used to this. But look at all these questionnaires. There's a bunch of them. That's 15% of your score. And the great ones you haven't even seen yet. But you've had all chance to do this. Just make suggestions, put in a couple of things, and then you're good, and you'll get credit for doing it. But if you haven't done it, that's not good. So make sure you attend every one of these, pretty please. And if they're not open and you need them to be open, look what I can do. I can come up here and I can go into edit, and I can change the due date, which I've done a whole lot this semester, because I don't want you guys to feel put off or that there's some kind of barrier to understanding. I want this to be basically a door to get in. Okay, that said, there's these discussions. Discussions are 20% of the course. Now I've canceled a couple of these because people have sort of fallen behind, which is cool for you if you keep up with with your discussions moving forward. That'll be 20% of your score. That's awesome. Okay, next thing to know, assignments. The assignments are the big part of this, because they're through this Engage tool, and the only way I can verify you're doing those is if you're doing the assignments we have here. So when those become open, make sure you're doing all the Engage assignments. That's crucial. Okay. And you're going to see some here that haven't shown up to you yet, so don't think, oh my gosh, I'm way behind. Okay, last thing I want to mention, we have something called the final assignment here, and what that's going to be is something coming up, and you'll see it's due July 14th. It's not open to you yet, but I want you to keep in mind this is 10% of your score. So it's vital that when this opens, the last week that we are happening, there is a 10% of your score assignment going to come up. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just miss the last, couple of things because I've caught up pretty well, don't do it. Okay. And what this is next week, I'm going to open this one up a week from now, essentially. A personal introduction. You'll write a paragraph and introduce yourself. A personal mission statement. Your academic goals, your career goals. And you're going to have to sort of go through all this, and just keep this in mind, even though you don't know all of it yet. I'm just telling you, you got a final assignment that's 10% of your grade. Okay, with that said, I think all of you that have reached out to me feel that I'm getting back to you, maybe not that same day, but pretty dang soon. And I've been opening stuff, and I'm extending dates because I want you to have a chance to succeed. Okay, so your job, if we've got this week's assignments up, but there's not a discussion this week, so you don't have to worry about that. I had one ready, but I'm not sharing that this week. But catch up, please, with what you're doing, and let's get you completely in the door. For those of you who've missed like more than a week, you're probably not seeing this because you may not be checking your mail. But what I'm doing is for the few people who have sort of fallen out of the class because you've had conflicts, I get that. But you are going to be automatically withdrawn if you've missed, more than a few days. Just be conscious of that. And how do we know when you miss? Because you're not working, you're not doing stuff. Okay, that's all I got for today. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. My number is 694-1852. And you know my email. And what I'm thinking about this Wednesday, if it works for you guys, I'm thinking about having like a live session, and I know some of you work and you can't do it, but a live session from like 4 to 5, Wednesday, live session 4 to 5, where you can just sort of log in to collaborate, and we'll talk a little bit and see what kind of questions you have, and see if there's any consensus of the class, what's working for you, what's not. All right, that's all I got. You guys have a great day.